Give me a snack. See if I can get a few people in here. If you don't mind me eating my little sugar cookie. Well, it's not a non-sugar sugar cookie, I guess. So it's not too bad. Well, I started just about a half a minute early. See if we can get a few people in. Meanwhile, I'll eat a bit. Or eat a bite, small bite. Hopefully everybody had a good Sunday. I mean, a good weekend. It is Sunday now. Hey, Aaron. Good morning to you too. Good morning to you too. I'm trying to get started this morning. Hey, Joy. Hey, Jamie. How y'all doing this morning? I'm back up here at the shop again. Drinking me a Sprite, eating me a little, it's a sugar-free sugar cookie. Oh God, and in your second round of good gracious. I hate that, Joy. I just got over COVID a couple of weeks ago. You know, it was tough on me. Hey Don, how are you? Yeah, it is. Look, it's a who makes this? It's like a little it's a little sugar-free peanut butter cookie. My daughter found these since I'm diabetic, and it reminds you of the little sugar cookies that I grew up with, and that's the way it is. You tested positive Wednesday. Good gracious. You're going to have to start staying out of those places, Joy. I tell you what, I don't know. The haters are out there on Mr. Don, aren't they? The haters are out there. They're doing everything possible. I would hate to live his personal life with all the people that have tried to hate him so badly, and it's crazy. It is crazy, that's for sure. We'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see if see Tuesday. I guess that's when they're supposed to indict him, or supposed to arraign him. I guess not. He's already been indicted. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, they're stretching. I don't know. They're stretching a misdemeanor into a felony, and then they turn around and turn felonies into misdemeanors up there. You could rob a bank or rob a store. You could shoot people, you know, almost kill and maim people. They'll let you off. But you pay off a porn star out of your own money with a porn star that you know, he was just trying to keep her quiet. I don't know what the deal. What he does on his personal life, that's him. That's between him and his wife and whoever. Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that New York State is a blue state. That's for well, New York City, New York State. I don't think New York State's quite as blue, but New York City definitely is blue. I don't know what else you can say about that. Yeah. Yeah. He needs, well, they already sort of did that on January 6th and see what happens there. I mean, and they finally left that one guy off that they'd kept for 2 years for nothing. He finally got released this past Friday, and you know what do you say? It's a crazy world out there. Crazy world. If you don't, we're between the common man and the elitists. Is what it appears to be out there. The common, hardworking man and woman, and the elitists who feel like that they need to tell us everything we need to do. So that seems to be the disparity out there. Is the person, if you've worked for a living, if you've had a regular job and you've worked for a living, then you've got your say so. Then you got the elitists who, with the military industrial complex and all the other people in Washington, they have their idea of the way we should run the country. It's really a crazy thing. Well, he's not going to do that. I mean, and they can't tie it into that anyway. And they're going to try to do a plea bargain, and his lawyers are saying he's not taking any plea bargain because he's not guilty of anything. So we'll see how it shakes out. You just don't know. I mean, we'll definitely see. What are y'all guys up to this week? I don't know if y'all saw my video with the wife. She's had me out landscaping a good bit. I made about a $2,000 mistake last Sunday. I was out pushing a tree over, and I thought it was going to go one direction. It was a rotten tree, and it cracked and went straight through some garden chairs that she had and a table and everything, wrought iron garden set, and just tore it all to pieces. So I'm gonna have to replace that. And then I turned around and had to hire a professional to come out and cut a bunch of tree limbs and trees down for me. And so I end up trying to save $100, I guess, and or whatever, and cost myself $2,000. But that happens. That happens to the best of us. Yeah, it was a oops. Yeah. But all in all, we came out pretty good. We're one of the boys on that cruise wanting to work for me on the side a little bit. He saw a little go-kart that I had for my grandson, and he wanted to buy it off of me. So I told him, I said I'd work it out and just let him work it off. And he's agreed to do that. And he came by the other day, and we started getting some more tree limbs and vines, and we just got a lot of undergrowth in one section of our flower beds. Well, our yard, our extended yard, and we're just trying to clean out. And things have gotten overgrown in some areas, so the wife wants to prune and cut back, and so we're taking the equipment and cleaning up. So doing that kind of stuff. That's what entailed with me this week. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if y'all saw my little video about it, but I hope you did. And it kind of tells the tale of what I've been doing this week, and probably will be doing more this next week too. Oh yeah, I got it. I always barter. Yeah, you can get more. I always feel like I can get more labor out of it than just paying somebody money and then turn around and letting them buy something from me. I'd rather say, hey, I'll give you a good deal on it. Here's what we're going to do. And that way I can get some hard work out of some people. And I enjoy doing that. And this young boy, he's about 30. He's a heck of a woodsman, I guess you might say. I mean, he's the guy. He's the like a little monkey going up a tree sometimes. Uh, he's got about a 7 or 8 year old kid, I think, or 10-year-old kid, and he wanted to get him something pretty nice. And I had a nice one of those. Really, it's a fast. It's got a cage and everything. Not really a go kart. So it's a step up from a go kart, and it's got a cage and everything else in it, 2-seater. And I had built that for my grandson. Put a new motor transaxle in it and everything, and I had some money in it, and it's nice. And he wanted that. And my grandson, of course, he wants this. He wants real cars, and so he's outgrown the little cart. And I told him I'd give him, as usual. I bought it, gave it to my grandson to use, and then of course now I'm selling it, so I've got to barter with my grandson on what I gave him for a toy years ago. And of course, he's never paid for anything. He's on the good end of the deal. He gets it. He wasn't using that. Now he's moving on to bigger and better things, and Pawpaw has to give him money. So that's the way Pawpaws end up.
Great. Glad to hear it.
Well, what is that? I got Siri doing something for me out there. I don't know what this Siri on my computer will activate for nothing. Yeah, I'd like to sell some truck parts. They're mainly just taking up space. I don't need the money that much, but I would. I mean, I'll take money. I'm like everybody else. Whoops. I'll take money, but I don't. I'm not doing it for money as much as I am the space. I'd like to sell these items to clear up my space that they're taking in my shops, and I'd give a good bargain to somebody if they want them, really, because I really don't have a need for them anymore. But that's life. I mean, it's it's the way it goes sometimes. You just you take the good with the bad on that, and I mean they're not costing me anything. I mean they're something that I've had for a while, but so they don't cost me. But I would like to go ahead and get rid of them. Well, I mean they're actually, I guess in reality they've gone up in price. I mean they're they're doing just as well in my parts room as they would be in a parts room at a Freightliner dealership or a Mack truck dealership or anything else. So they're not doing anything. They're the same condition. So I mean, I just got them in my parts room, and they're as good as new, brand new. Well, business is going to change this year because I'm afraid we're going to see a recession. I mean, it's inevitable. I think a recession is coming with everything that's been all the money that's been borrowed. Uh, it's got to be paid back some way, and it's paid back through inflation, and everything. I mean, I'm seeing it on things that I've had to rebuy, and I know y'all guys have too. It's not just not gas and food. It's trickling down to every aspect of our life. So that's happening, and I don't see it getting any better. Uh, this administration has just ruined the economy. I mean, ruined it. I mean, and you can see it. Anybody that's old enough that has lived through some of these inflationary situations I mean, I remember when Jimmy Carter was in. Jimmy Carter did a very similar thing. Interest rates got up to almost 20%. And, people, if you had to borrow money, I mean, it was ridiculous. So it stifled any kind of small business. And it just, the economy took a tailspin. And that's what I see happening again a little bit. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I just I don't know what we're going to do on that, Walter. I mean, it's like I said, you've got to inflate your prices if you're in business. I mean, it's pathetic when you sell something and then when you, as a purchaser, to rebuy it wholesale, you go back to buy it back wholesale, and you can't even buy it back for what you sold it for. I mean, and that's what you get into, and that's how inflation starts creeping up. The value of everything goes up, the value of our dollar goes down, and that's what we're seeing. And the scariest thing is the way um, they're going to take the dollar off the world market right now. Right, traditionally, oil and all these other products like that have been sold on the world market using the dollar as the basis, and now China is dealing with all these other people like Saudi Arabia and Brazil and a few other countries. They're dealing with the I don't know if it's the yen. I don't know what it is in China, but they're using China's money as the market value, and that in itself is going to change the entire dynamics of money value. Because if we can't dominate the world market and the world market uses ours as the basis, then our dollar devalues at that point. And that's what we're doing right now. It's a scary thing. I mean, people don't realize that that's a scarier situation than some of these other things. It's the fact that if our dollar on the competitive market in the world gets pushed out there where it doesn't have the same value that it used to have, then we're screwed. And that's about what we're gonna end up with, a Venezuela dollar. You might figure. I mean, where you had to have a bushel basket full of them to get you an apple or two. And it's if that happens, whatever money you got in the banks and everything else are going to be worthless. I mean, just it's a scary proposition, and I see some of that happening with all this inflation we got. And our administration has they act clueless about that. They want to spend, spend, spend. As long as they print money, they are not gonna. It's not going to go down. And giving out all these arms to Ukraine and supplies to Ukraine, we can't even defend the United States as it stands right now. A lot of people say, and this this industrial this war industrial complex we got, where we got all these people, all these senators and manufacturers want to keep pumping out war items. I mean, that's their livelihood, and it's scary. What you mean? What have I got, Aaron? You talking about truck parts? I got a load of truck parts. I mean, a lot of them for a Freightliner, but I got air conditioning parts. I've got brake shoes, brake chambers, airbags. That's just a lot of repetitive things I have. And then over at the shop, the other shop, I have a lot of stuff. I had bought out another parts store years ago when I first got started, and a lot of their merchandise that didn't get transferred over to the Napa store, and even some of the Napa things that were older that they wanted to not have, I ended up with when I sold my Napa franchise. So I probably have $50,000 worth of lights, and I mean, I don't have 50,000 lights, but I've got probably $50,000 worth of parts that I retained when I sold out my store, and just small items, all kinds of different things. I need to put them on eBay. That's what I need to do. Yeah, I mean, just it's a mixed bag. I mean, like I said, I got brake chambers, brake shoes, airbags. I have wheel weights. Um, I've got oh gosh, I'd had to. A lot of them's on a shelf right behind me here. Uh, I can't think off the top of my head. Well, I got bearings. I got wheel bearings. I've got axle bearings, wheel seals, just a lot of things like that. Uh, then in the other room, I have a lot of air conditioning lines, brand new. I mean, still got the sticker on them, air conditioning lines and different things like that that go for a Freightliner. You know, just parts that we were using repetitively all the time, repairing and doing maintenance on trucks. And then when I closed everything down, the guys that bought my trucks, they didn't want the parts. And so I didn't sell them to them, and I just sold them the trucks. And then when I closed down the Napa store, like I said, I end up having to retain some of that older stock, which is good stock, but it's older stock and that sort of stuff. So that's what I've ended up with, and I got a lot of it. Uh, it's, I mean, it's kind of hard to say what do I have because it's a mixed bag. It's car parts, truck parts from the Napa store, what that is, and I mean, like I got handshakes for a tractor trailer truck. I probably have, you know, 2 boxes of that, which, you know, probably got 40 or 50 handshakes, you know, right and left handshakes. And then I've got, uh, like I said, headlights of all descriptions, and they're from the major manufacturer, still in a box. Uh, some of the boxes are getting a little dusty and old, but they're still brand new items. Yeah, I have a mixed bag like that, Aaron. It just, I mean, it's a good variety. I probably ought to go through and take pictures of it, put it up here on the YouTube channel. That's what my wife says, and you know, let people know what I've got and see if they want to get in touch with me and uh, that sort of stuff. I mean, it's like I said, all of it's good product, and probably would go. I would venture to say a lot of it has been inflated, uh, and you'd have to pay a lot more for it nowadays. And I got it and probably will sell it at a discount. So it is what it is. I'm gonna I'm gonna take some time when I get some time and go through there and pick it out piece by piece and just put it up. My wife says just do it on eBay. I mean, I've got an eBay storefront. I haven't used it to sell as much as I did. My wife was using it to buy a product. She was buying a lot of different things for the house a couple years ago, but it's still up there. I don't have as much motor parts per se. I had some old Detroit part. I've got some used Detroit parts. I don't have any new 60 series parts. I've got some, you know, some old turbos and stuff like that, and just stuff. Of course, some of it I've actually taken to the scrap metal because I didn't want to mess with it anymore. But I had some used parts of that. New parts for 60s, I didn't. I mean, I didn't necessarily do that much. I mean, I did motor work. I had a guy that actually worked for Freightliner at one time. I'm in Detroit, now Freightliner. and he was a Detroit specialist, and he worked on mine. And of course, I just bought what I needed of that, and I ended up with the old parts. Sometimes, of course, sometimes you had to turn in a lot of that for core. If you bought some new heads, you'd have to turn in the old heads for core and stuff like that. I ended up with a bunch of alternators. I actually took them to scrap metal just the other day. We scrap metaled a lot of stuff, and things like that. So it is what it is. But as far as motor parts, I don't I I don't keep I didn't keep as much of that. More of it were rear ends, like clutch parts. I may have a couple of clutches over there. I think I do. I think I have. If I remember right, I remember seeing a couple of new clutches that I never did use. And then, like I said, brake shoes. I have plenty of brake shoes, and actually, the brake shoes would work on a variety of trucks because the axle components and stuff like that crossover with Mack, Kenworth, Freightliner. They're by, kind of determined by the rear end that you got in it, and so a lot of that stuff's interchangeable with a variety of manufacturers and that sort of stuff. So but the motor parts, not so much. But a lot of peripherals. Like I said, I got lights. I got a ton of lights from, was it Truck Light? I think that's the manufacturer, one of them, and just a couple other, clearance lights, headlights, all kinds of different things like that. Exhaust pipe. I got a lot of exhaust products. I got a couple of exhaust pipes that, stacks and everything for trucks. And then I have some good used parts too. Like I got a head rack. I got an aluminum head rack that came off of a truck. I need to sell that. That's taking up a lot of space in the shop. And then I got, oh God, there's a lot of different things. But like I said, I've got some more scrap metal over there. Jim and I were going through that. I got some drive lines and old clutches and all kinds of stuff like that. I need to take to the scrap metal place and just get scrap metal money out of it anyway, and that sort of stuff, because I'll never use those, and they're taking up space. So I got items like that I need to get rid of for sure. But it moves on. I'll get on past that if I can. Yesterday I had a good day. I guess y'all can see my two cars in the background. We took the Coupe and the Mustang to a car show uptown and had a good time. Had a great time visiting with a lot of old friends. A lot of people were in town. It was a re-celebration of my local town, Cherryville. They had redone Main Street, and they've been working on it several years. And they dedicated it yesterday and had a car show and a band and all kind of stuff, and had a good time as soon as the weather went through. But yeah, just hopefully spring's gotten here and we can enjoy some good weather for a change. A little bit nippy this morning. That's why I got my old FedEx shirt, jacket on and that sort of stuff. It's still a little bit nippy up here at the shop. Got me a little foot heater down here. I got me a little foot heater running. Keep the dampness off of me or the chill off of me. And although it's not too bad here in the shop, I think it was 47 degrees, 48 degrees when I came up here a while ago. So the weather's getting better. Of course, it's supposed to be nice weather. We're getting some rain, I think, some more rain coming in. But our weather's finally changed. We're going to get into some good spring weather and be able to grow some things and garden and that kind of. My wife loves it. She's was out early this morning, out in her flower garden out back, pulling some weeds and checking over some things. So she's enjoying it already. Well, I hope everybody's doing good. I haven't, other than the political scene and that sort of stuff. We if we can keep a few things straight, maybe this world will straighten out a little bit. I'm kind of tired of some of the political stuff out there. I mean, it's all about getting Trump right now, which is crazy. We got a lot more troubles in the world other than that, but that seems to dominate the news cycle, and I'm tired of that. Leave the poor man alone. Just let him go about his way. Let him do his thing. But they want to. It's like they got a wounded animal and they want to kill it. I mean, that's what it seems like. I mean, they've got a wounded animal out there. They've nicked him, and now they want to take him down. And that's what we've got. And our crazy political scene out there, they're going to do what they can do. And the news media, they're searching for stuff. So I'm tired of it. I'd like to hear some good news for a while, and that's what I'm trying to convey. I try to convey normally some good news, in which my wife and we've been working hard and trying to get the farm in good shape, and I like doing that. And I like being having a chance to do some things that make me feel good. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure, Aaron. That's for sure. I mean, like I said, I would not. I mean, I know he's got tons of money, but I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. Although he's got a real pretty wife. But that's crazy business out there. Well, I just the divide in the United States with so many people. I mean, I don't see it locally because I think most people in our area are of the same mindset. There's very few that want to go ultra liberal in this area. I mean, we're more ultra conservative, and that's the way it is. But what do you say? What do you say? Oh, I know it. Yeah, yeah. They're definitely all out for the money. Michael Cohen is a typical crooked lawyer for sure. I mean, you hear. I mean, he's crooked like that Murdoch guy here in South Carolina. He was just as crooked as he could be too, spending money from his clients and everything, and all that sort of stuff. But you know, I mean, what do you say? You got some crazy crooked people out there, and they're going to do their thing. That's for sure. They're going to do their thing. Well, guys, I'm going to cut it short a little bit this Sunday morning. I've got some things to do. Glad everybody jumped in here. I'm going to head on back down to the house and get some work done. Maybe I'll put some more videos out. Like I said, if you do, catch my other videos, if you will, and I'll check y'all later. And I'm gonna head on out and get on back down to the house, do some work for the wife. See you guys.